Hi, and welcome back. My name is Ash, and today we're going to talk about week 9 on my medication, Zepbound. It was an okay week, and I kind of already decided last week that this week I wouldn't necessarily do a weigh in, but I'll still kind of talk a little bit about how I've been feeling and where things have kind of been going. Which is kind of a meh week, and I'll get into that a little bit. The first thing is that this past week I didn't have any nausea at all, which I noticed sometimes usually just comes and goes, but this week none at all, which was nice. Was nice. That's the good part. Bad part, when it kind of comes to the side effects, is I was tired, and that's fine if I'm tired or there was a little bit of fatigue. Usually, because I don't necessarily have a lot of things on my plate where I have to be a lot of places. But this week, it was also a busy week, which the week before was supposed to be busy because then I got sick. So this week was kind of the replacement busy week, and I had a few appointments. I had to talk to a lot of different people about things kind of going on, in my life and all that stuff. And it just really hit like I really felt the fatigue, and that, it's not ideal, but it wasn't, I guess I just have to like remind myself where I was prior. And what I will say is it wasn't as bad as when I first started the medication, but I did kind of notice it. And maybe I just noticed it because I had a lot of things to do this week where I was kind of out and about and moving and doing more movement than I normally would, on top of like still doing my other movement. So it just hit a little bit harder. I felt it a little bit more. And that was fine. I just decided to kind of sleep in a little bit more on days where I could, and days where I couldn't, I just like went to bed a little bit earlier. But I definitely felt it. Definitely felt it. Yeah. Yeah. I tried a new, I guess it's technically a snack. It's like a protein snack. It's like these kind of like edamame pieces of edamame, right? Like outside of the pod that you eat. You can kind of snack on them, but what I usually do is I'll just kind of add it in to supplement a meal where maybe I'm trying to get to 30 or 33 grams of protein, but I just don't quite get there. So I just need a little bit of something else. And I don't necessarily want to eat more meat or like larger things. I just want something smaller that will kind of push me to the goal. You know what I mean? Like push me to the end of the race to get me to 30 or 33 grams or whatever it is that I'm aiming for. So I'll just kind of pair it with something else and it brings it up. And it's not too large. It's not too voluminous, but it does help fill you up because one serving, which I think is around 30-ish grams, has 13 grams of protein in it. But it's just edamame. So it's not too intense. It also has fiber in it, which is good. It's like kind of a 2-for-1 kind of thing. And I believe one serving is maybe like somewhere between 120, 130 calories, which I think that's not bad, especially for a snack. But I'm just using it to kind of supplement things. So that makes it kind of a nutritious ad that's not going to necessarily be like volume in terms of calories, but still will be good for me. I'm all about that. That's a plus. I will say this week, because I was so tired, I did kind of struggle with movement. And it's not that I didn't move, I just didn't move in the way that I normally would. Like at the beginning of the week, yeah, I mean, I did cycling, or spinning, or whatever you want to call it, like indoor cycling. And then I just recorded everything and died. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we'll just kind of start from wherever the last point I was talking about. Exercising. I did movement. I did extra movement. I was tired. And even though I slept more, I still was tired. So I think this week I'm going to focus on not just sleeping, but also relaxing and trying to replenish myself so that I can kind of bring my energy back up so that I can do more strength training this week. Because the week 9 I only did one day, which is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing more, but I did kind of opt out the movement for walking. So I guess it's good that I made a decision to do something instead of nothing, but I was supposed to do other things. So that's what I'll do for this week, is focus on getting back on track, but also resting and replenishing. So that'll be good. Other things that I did notice week 9, when I gave myself my like injection, I did get a bruise, which I don't usually get bruises. So that was a surprise to me. And I'll put a picture up so you can kind of see it. So that was, I don't know what that was about, but yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, or maybe I had like flexed when I was doing it, and when the injection went in, maybe it just like hit some, it wasn't supposed to hit, and so I just bruised. I tell myself, oh, maybe like it hit a muscle because I got so many muscles, but that's probably not what it is. But I usually alternate sites, and I've done that thigh before, so I don't know what the problem was. Why this week when I did my thigh, it was a problem. But either way, next week I'll alternate back up to my abdomen, so whatever, it'll be fine. And then we'll see the other week when I alternate back down to my other thigh, and we'll see what happens there. But I thought that was weird. Is anyone else getting bruises? I have to check, but I do think that is kind of like just a general side effect of injecting things, like something that could happen. I don't think it's cause for alarm. I think it's just fine. And I get bruises for lots of other things too. I'm very clumsy and I hit things. So, not surprised at all. Oh, this week, which I guess you could call it a win, is that I've been pretty consistent with my protein goals. So I feel pretty good about that. I think I can pat myself on the back about that one. Also, which is which is a weird thing to mention, but I will mention it anyway. So I did notice that, like, like previous weeks, things are starting to get a little bit looser, like my clothing and things like that. So I just kind of preemptively purchased clothing that was smaller because there was a sale going on. And I figured, like, I'm good for this range. Like, I could wear these clothes at least one more size down and it would be fine. It would just look kind of oversized, and that's perfectly fine with me. But once you get down again, it's not gonna look like that. It's gonna look a little like disheveled. Like it's not the transition's not gonna work out. And it's not like I'm like going anywhere where there's a fashion show anyway, but it's gonna look like kind of like how when parents buy kids clothing that are too big and then the kids wear the clothing and it's like you couldn't have waited to like grow a little bit more. But no, they were like, we're gonna wear this whatever size it is until you like grow into it. That's kind of what the clothing is not quite looking like, but like could look like in another certain amount of, loss. So I preemptively decided to buy clothing that was a size smaller in tops and bottoms. But the tops technically is my size, but I just bought it from a retailer where their tops tend to run a little bit smaller, and it turns out the top fit. So I guess I'm wearing the tops now, but the bottoms did not fit. And I'm glad that they don't fit because that was the point of buying them a smaller size so they don't fit. But I did notice that I could put them on and zip them up. And I was like, well, that wasn't a part of the plan. I thought that the item wouldn't even get past my actual thigh or my hip. Really, the hip was pushing it. My thighs are pretty big, but they went up. They went up, and I can zip them. But I'll put something here. But you're obviously going to see it's not like something like you would want to wear out. You could, but you probably wear it to a barbecue. You wouldn't be able to sit down the whole time, and that's not the vibe that I'm going for. I wouldn't be able to sit in my clothes. But hey, I mean, I'm still surprised they fit. They're size 10. I don't remember the last time I wore a 10, to be honest. I mean, I think technically I wear a 10 in Torrid clothing, but Torrid is generally oversized in terms of like retailers because it's a plus size retailer and they do their measurements a little bit differently than other retailers do. Yeah, I was very surprised. I was like, what? But anyway, I think obviously I still have some room to go. So this is good. This is good. This gives me like clothing to get me through the season essentially when I start to change in size because I'm going to manifest it. And I think buying the lesser size, smaller size is a way to do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong? Maybe, but that's what I'm doing. But other than that, that's just kind of how the week is going. Oh, okay, we're still on to check. We're still recording. Excited for next week because next week we're going to do a weigh-in. This week I just didn't want to bother with it. You get like a lot of anxieties about the number and then you tell the number. But I think realistically, I need to have kind of like a consistent weighing, especially since I'm not going to go to the doctor for 3 months unless something drastic happens, which I don't think it will. I think everything's going to be fine. If you're new here, like I said before, my name is Ash, and maybe you want to like subscribe or something so that you can get a notification. Maybe turn on notification too, because I think that's something you got to do for YouTube so that you get the notification that I did post next week video so you can see what the results are of the last 2 weeks. in the future. It'll be 2 weeks in the future. Yeah. Or maybe it'll be 1 week. It'll be 1 week in the future from now, but it'll be 2 weeks from when I gave the last update, because that's how time works. But anyway, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good week. And I'm gonna get through this week, and we'll see each other next week.